Hello, Karen here, Emerging Soul Tarot for your daily read. So I'll shuffle and pull our soul cards and hold them up for you for a short while so you can reflect and see what the cards are saying to you, and then I'll do us a tarot read. Okay. Okay. So let's start with this one. I always feel to start with the one on that side for some reason, but it's the one that speaks to me first. So I think overall the pair of them, I'm looking at masculine and feminine, not necessarily men and women, but masculine and feminine energy. I'm seeing in this one kind of a more masculine energy with a hand out, a hand offering, or a hand kind of beckoning you in. But in the other hand, if you can see that, he has a sword, a spear, a dagger. So there's this sense of not being able to go towards that action, not being able to move in towards that hand that's offering, because there's a fear of that dagger. So yeah, and then this, which I see as a more feminine energy, is actually turned away, and they kind of go together. It's we've got a lot of orange here, so we've got a lot of sacral chakra energy and the pairing of the masculine and the feminine, but they're faced in at different angles. What's springing to mind to me in a spiritual sense is this kind of guardedness of the feminine, the holding on to the light, to the desires, to the, you know, to their light, to their, yeah, just holding on, this kind of not allowing that to emanate, but turning away from the masculine. So this could be within your relationship in terms of whether you're male or female, that there's a fear of the action towards someone because there's that fear of being stabbed, being hurt. Yeah, it's quite a kind of difficult energy there, almost like death energy. But what's coming out for me as well on a spiritual level is this kind of sense of the split between the masculine and feminine, sacred masculine and sacred feminine, and this need for those energies to combine. So yeah, you know, move towards the feminine or the masculine, and there is in a sense a dagger there, because you have to unveil yourself, you have to kind of get naked with yourself to look at your soul, and these reside in everyone's soul, whether you're a man or a woman. So yeah, a kind of split, but there's some truths in this in terms of you know, hearing both sides of yourself, hearing the polarities within you. So if you're in confusion about anything, then it's because you haven't got that knitting together of the two sides of you, I'm thinking, the masculine and the feminine. And the other sense, the kind of collective sense, is we're living in a time where, you know, the feminine, the sacred feminine over thousands of years has been pushed down, you know, the kind of feminine energies, in terms of the visionary, intuitive, emotional, and the masculine, not the sacred masculine, but a kind of shadow of the masculine energy within society has been very repressive, kind of quite dangerous. It's had a sword in its hand. It's because it's been detached from that kind of balance of the feminine. There's no one better than the other. They need to be combined, just like in life. You know, if you want to create a child, you need, you know, the male sperm and the female's egg. It's as simple as that. Yeah, so that sense of a split and fear, a kind of fear. I feel a fear here, a turning away from fear because the unknown, you know, what might hurt, what might injure. So let's have a dig in the tarot and see what that brings out. Nine of Cups there. Spirit. What do you want to say? Okay, so we got the Nine of Cups. We've got the Two of Pentacles and we've got the Sun. Okay, so this Nine of Cups, we've got a lot of nines coming out lately, and I think it's because we are collectively in a transition time. But those nines can be very difficult energies. They're endings of cycles. They're kind of the wrapping up of the old and the bringing of the new. You know, so this guy sitting there, he's got his arms folded across his heart, so there's a sense of protectiveness. You know, we don't know, he's got his cups behind him, he looks happy enough, but there's this sense of you don't know what's under that tablecloth, the same as you don't know if you go towards that masculine energy, there's going to be an embracing hand or a dagger. So, you know, the need to kind of back away is there. And this is this juggling, you know, the juggling of your decisions. The boats are kind of being tossed on the waves. So you may be going through something where you feel like you're juggling. You can't come to your center because you're very scared of this kind of action you may need to take out in the world or within your relationship. But the promise here is of this Sun, and what this is asking you for is to reconcile these two sides of you, you know. So if you're on, excuse me, I've got a bit of hay fever. If you're on a spiritual walk, this is about reconciling the feminine and the masculine within. And the only way we can do that is by having that open embrace. We need to come back like childlike openness, openness of heart. I mean, see the contrast of those. The guy's got his arms folded over his heart, he's got his arms, the child, wide open. So this sense of juggling, whether it's within a relationship, within yourself spiritually, kind of your soul, or in work, in any circumstance in life, because this is Pentacles, the reason that it is so confusing and you feel like you're juggling away with everything is simply because you're not connected within. So there's that sense that you need to open your arms, you need to have an open embrace to whatever it is you're facing, to not turn away, but to embrace both sides. And yeah, things can be painful sometimes, but you know, I think what we've done with the sacred feminine, all of us, if we're male or female, biologically, is that it is repressed. So a lot of our decision making is made solely and purely with the mind, and the kind of that side I've spoke about before, the side of your brain that is rational, intellectual, deductive, analytical, and not embracing this kind of more feminine energy, which is visionary, intuitive, feeling, sensate. So this juggling results from that. It's a kind of a heart being closed down. And as we're in this kind of collective transition time, we're going to feel a lot that we're juggling, because the old is crumbling. The old ways of doing it's necessary if we're going to move on to a world that is a bit more equitable for everyone, not based on that. I'll put my hand out to you, but come towards me and I'll spear you. So yeah, that sense of going within and using all facets of your being. So, meditate, contemplate, allow visionary experiences, allow those intuitive senses to rise, and use that masculine, rational, analytical kind of energy to just balance them out in you. Don't be juggling and saying, oh, I'll look at this one, but I'm not looking at that one. Have that open-heartedness to embrace both sides. Yeah. What I'm going to do is pull us a chakra card just to see what may be imbalanced for us, and you can go and meditate on these chakras. Plenty of YouTube videos. I've also got a playlist on my channel of every chakra, so yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, spiritual awakening right in the brain. So exactly what I was saying. That spiritual awakening comes when we start listening more to the sacred feminine in us. So that Gaia, Shekinah, the feminine energy, the sensate, the creative energy. So our imagination, our visionary capacity, our feelings, emotional. So that's where the awakening comes, in terms of having balance and not being closed off, having that childlike balance. And as I said, it's very difficult because, he's got the sun in his head. Look, it's a very difficult thing to do because we've been conditioned, if you can't measure it and make it scientific, it doesn't exist. So it's very difficult for us to trust our intuitive, more feminine way of processing things. But this clearly seems to be what Spirit is asking us to do. So I think, I'm not sure what chakra that is. Let me get the book. It's one of those that are kind of, I think, outside of our body almost. I'll just have a quick look and let you know. Oh no, it's the crown chakra. So it's that opening up. And it talks about the affirmation on this card is, I embody my ancient wisdom and I'm open to the divine spirit within. Well, as I said, the thing that's been repressed, the thing that's been pushed away is that sacred feminine side, the, you know, the consciousness, the more spiritual side of us has been pushed away and damped down. So we need to relearn in this transition time to reconnect to that, to realign ourselves so that we've got our brain working from the central, not one side or the other. I mean, if we're too much feminine and we don't use that kind of intellect with that intuitive, visionary feeling sense, then we can go too far that way. If we only use our analytical brain, then we go too far that way. There's this central alignment, you know, what this guy is really trying to accomplish, not juggle. He's got the infinity symbol there that he's juggling with, so there's that sense of having the sense of there may be a situation which is bringing you confusion that feels kind of hidden, or you feel cut off, or you're fearful of, but it's that bringing the two together, you know, learning that balance, knowing that it's not just this immediate situation, it's fitted in an infinite pattern. So yeah, so I'll pull us a daily card to wrap it up. So any difficulties you've got or fears, the only answer is going within and using both sides of your brain, using the spiritual and the experiential, you know, the material. There's no separation. We need to learn there is no separation. There's no separation between us as people. There's no separation between us as material bodily people and spirit. It's a flow in and a flow out. Everything flows into and out of, so it's learning in this transition time to be able to flow and allow flow and not kind of turn away from it or be fearful of it. Okay, there's your card, your artwork. Wisdom. See your adversaries as opportunities to expand your spiritual light. Yeah, so, you know, adversaries are not necessarily people. They can be patterns within you, states of being or states of mind, you know. They're opportunities to expand. They're not things we should be fearful of. Yeah, that's the wisdom. And wisdom, you know, is very much the pairing of both the masculine and feminine sacred energies. So, okay, there's your read. Hope it was helpful. See you tomorrow.